I need a motion to reconvene.
So moved.
Motion by Vincelette,
Second.
second by Bender. All in favor?
Aye.
No student. On actions determined in closed session, student expulsion hearing 27/22/23. Action for consideration of violation of Education Code 48900C. Not to expel a student with conditions. I need a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Vincelette, seconded by Hepburn. All in favor?
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 was absent. You're here now, but you can't vote on that. because it wasn't here in closed session.
Can't know that.
Student expulsion hearing 29/22/23, action for consideration of violation of Education Code 48900C to expel the student and suspend the expulsion order with conditions.
Motion?
Motion by Hepburn,
So second.
second by Vincelette. All in favor?
Aye.
5 ayes. The recording of this meeting is being made and shall be kept for 30 days as public record. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. David, would you lead us, please?
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Rules never sit.
Don't make eye
Roll call. I am here. Robert Vincelette is here. Sam Hepburn is here. Jim Bender is here. Dwayne Moore is here. And Miss Alexi is absent. Motion for the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Vincelette, seconded by, did I hear Moore? All in favor?
Aye.
5 ayes. The Board Trustees Organizational Meeting, but first, we want to recognize Mr. Jim Bender. Jim, did you come up here?
You didn't call it police, did you?
Gonna miss that sense of humor, Jim. Put you in the middle. Put you in the middle, right there.
Jim, as an appreciation for 4 years of good service, present you with this plaque.
Southern Kern Unified School District and the Board of Trustees recognizes Jim Bender for 4 years of dedicated service as a trustee from December of 2018 to December of 2022. Just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Jim, on a personal note, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity for the dream job of my life.
You deserve it.
Thank you so much.
Now, administer the oath of office to trustees.
Yes. the three trustees that were the two reelected, and Ms. Rinden, front and center, please. When we say then pause, you repeat your names. You say your names, okay?
Do you want us to say that at the same time or you want after?
No, same time. It's okay.
So, your name.
Your name. All right. Please raise your right hand. Okay. I
I, Sunny Hepburn.
do solemnly swear
Do
solemnly
swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
That I will bear
true
faith and allegiance to the
Constitution
Constitution
of
of
the
the
United
United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
Without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
which I am
upon
about
which I'm
to.
about to enter.
Congratulations.
And I switched. Thanks, Jason.
Just switch names now. Adrian will go to- No, I would wait till after elections to switch names.
I get choked up every time. Can you see that we go over there with the student?
Can I sit her over there for now?
Yes.
Yeah, she said
Yes.
there
You
is.
say you can sit
Ma'am,
Alexis.
would you come over and take Alexi's seat?
now.
We'll get your name back for the next one. You are now at work.
You get the vote and everything else.
Does she have?
Okay, we now have to reorganize our board. Election of officers. I will make a motion to bring Mr. Vincelette up as president.
I will second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Still learning.
So,
What was that vote?
five oh. I'm gonna finish this.
Okay.
I'm gonna-
And then I will
I believe,
turn it over to you.
Okay.
okay, no, I believe that you should finish it.
Open nominations for vice president.
Sunny Hepburn?
Sunny, would you accept that nomination?
I will accept that nomination.
And then I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nomination for clerk. If you don't mind, I would like to do that.
I was gonna say, I'd make a motion for
I'll second it.
Mario.
I need a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
County representative. I need somebody to represent our district at the county meetings in Bakersfield. Who wishes to drive to Bakersfield?
I did that last
I make a nomination for Dwayne.
Okay.
I'll second.
Hepburn and Vincent. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. County alternative representative.
I make the motion for Adrian to be second.
And that was by Hepburn, seconded by Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Antelope Valley School Board Association representative.
I'll go.
I go anyways.
Make a motion.
Make a motion.
You
Okay,
go ahead.
and I'll second.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Hepburn. Seconded by Vincent.
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved meeting calendar, oh, sorry. Since we now have different positions, Bob, it's all you.
Gee, thanks. There's yours. We're playing musical. Okay. Approved board meeting calendar, dates 18 months, subject to additional meetings or changes. Mrs. Gaines?
Yes, basically, this is just defining the board meeting calendar for the next 18 months and informing you that next year's board meeting will be on December 13th of 2023. That will fall within the realm of dates and times that we are allowed to reboard.
Call for,
Make a motion to approve that.
is there a second? More, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You might want to put in that all the calendar dates will be the first and third Wednesdays.
Okay. That's true. First and third Wednesdays.
And maybe add that we will have special meetings as needed, because we will be having quite a few special meetings because of construction. We have a lot of construction that's going to start, yes,
What page is the calendar?
starting next Monday.
You know what, I forgot to look at.
Okay, next up on the list is subcommittees, volunteers assignments. Currently, Mario and I are on the budget.
Happy to stay.
Okay. Anybody else would like to go? If not, I will stay. No problem? Okay, thank you. Board policy, right now we have Hepburn and Moore.
I'll stay.
Okay,
You have to show up.
Yeah. Around that. Missed a
curriculum,
few, I work nights and, we work at 4:00 here, 5:30.
curriculum, that's myself and Moore. What's that?
I'm not doing that one.
You don't want to do that one? Anybody else?
Adrian?
Adrian, would you mind?
Yeah, I'll take it. I don't know what's
Just say yeah.
coming up.
We'll
I'll
throw
take
you
it.
in without a life vest, don't worry.
Yeah, we'll, don't worry. Yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and stay on it as well. Athletics. I'm on it and so is Jim, but Jim is no longer here. I want to stay on
I will,
and Mario, I think, wants to go on.
yes, I do. That's why I went to all those classes.
We both went.
Every time I walked into one of those classes, I was already there.
Project planning, that's Bender and Mario.
I'm definitely there.
You definitely.
That's construction, and it's every Monday
Every
morning,
Monday morning.
8:30.
8:30.
8:30.
Is it virtual?
All right.
Right here.
You're right. You do.
For sure.
Okay.
Dwayne's on it.
Okay. And calendar. Adrian, I'm going to recommend you on that. Discipline review. Well, we can back
Okay. Calendar.
calendar.
So that, and Bender, are you going to be on it?
You want to be on there? Okay.
That's for the school calendar.
That's for the school calendar. Yeah, I'll stay on that one as well. Discipline review.
I'm there.
Okay, Mario is there.
I'll accept that one.
You can back that one.
Technology.
Technology. I'm on Moore's on that. I'm on that. I want to stay on that one. Anybody else want to?
I'll stay with you.
Okay. And safety and security, I definitely want to stay on that one.
I'm there.
Okay, so that's where we're both at.
We'll see who wants to jump in and move one of us off. We're good.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are looking in, so.
You're on page 5.
Oh, you're on page 5.
I
Oh,
don't
she
know.
doesn't have an agenda.
And it's on the board up here.
There you go.
You have a packet for her.
Yeah.
I think if I was tracking, I appointed you to at least 2 of those committees.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had it pretty
Unfortunately, though, we can only have 2 on each one. Otherwise, it's as a school board.
One of the ones that takes, besides the planning and project, but board policy probably takes up a lot of time, a lot of time.
And safety and security is still.
I know.
So,
So,
okay.
Adrian, if I can just, you are on curriculum and you're also on calendar. Those are 2 really good ones to start. I think you'll enjoy those.
Okay, reports and communications. Roseman High Early College Campus Cadet Corps presentations. Captain Wallace?
I'm not speaking, but I'd like to say thank you to Jim Bender. You were here when Cadet Corps started, so we appreciate your support and everybody else. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Ms. Gaines, board members, and distinguished guests. I'm speaking on behalf of Cadet Captain Katie Shodine. I am Cadet Staff Sergeant Nicholas Cruz, and I would like to introduce our Command Sergeant Major, who would briefly share some of our fall/winter highlights.
Thank you, Staff Sergeant. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. I thank you all for having us speak at this moment. I am Cadet Second Lieutenant Jeremiah Garrett. I am also the acting Command Sergeant Major for the 273rd Battalion, 15th Brigade at Roseman High School here. Our cadets have been working very hard and have been very busy this past year. We have participated in many events and ceremonies, such as the 9/11 ceremony, the Armed Forces Day Parade, the Extreme Team Challenge, Recondo, CERT training. We have honored many veterans, POWs, and we will be a part of the Reach Across America in Mojave and Bakersfield this coming Saturday. These ceremonies remind us of how far we have come as a unit and how far we have come since the first year we have ever served. On a daily basis, cadets hold these values of the California Cadet Corps without wavering or complaining in the slightest. We will soon be participating in the marksmanship competition, state cadet competition, and planning for a bivouac and summer training. Also, I have recently enlisted in the United States Marine Corps and will be defending this great nation. I will be shipped out on August 7th of 2023, and I will now be followed by Cadet Staff Sergeant Isabel Taylor. Thank you.
Good evening. We have also seen previous cadets such as Angel Rojas graduate from Marine Corps basic training and proudly serve our country. Others, such as Kaya Quellar, are attending college or are starting their careers. As you all know, there was a recent incident in Rosemont where our school was on a lockdown. Some cadets in that area were not able to leave our homes. Still, one cadet got up and put on their uniform because they knew it was a part of the daily training. Even though they are not able to make it to school, they still marched in the holiday parade the next day, demonstrating strength and courage in the face of adversity. As an 8th grade cadet, I was shy and introverted. As I learned more about the Cadet Corps, I started to become more determined to let down the brick wall that I had against everyone else, and I learned to become a leader. Today, I'm the Deputy Commander of the 15th Brigade, and I will be followed by Michaela Lopez. Thank you for your time.
Good evening. As Staff Sergeant Taylor said, I am Cadet Staff Sergeant Michaela Lopez. As cadet leader, it is a privilege to lead and be a part of watching our cadets step up and uphold the highest Cadet Corps value. One of our highlights for us this semester is to have some of our cadets with special needs. They bring joy to our program and give us more leadership opportunities. In my freshman year, I was struggling with my grades and attendance. During COVID, I was falling behind. But since I have become involved in Cadet Corps, I am doing well in school, and I am the battalion security officer responsible for cadet safety because Cadet Corps works. Thank you for all your continued support. We have a short video of a few highlights from this semester followed by Tropical Middle School.
Thank you for doing this, Cadet Corps. Thank you, Charles, Major. Thank you as well. I want everybody to know that part of, some of you have been here, you know what I have asked to have done. And that is to have not the faculty advisors, but the student leaders to come up so that they get a little bit of face time with the board and let us know what's going on. And there's other things that you can also use this for. And that is that if there's something, there's needs out there, you can sure let us know as well. You know, we will work the best that we can to help you out as you know, for the program. The program is very, very good. We have a lot of Cadet Corps at the Tropical Middle School as well as the high school. And thank you both, Major and Captain, thank you very much.
We have the middle school cadets want to say.
We got more? Oh,
Yes.
all right.
Tropico, did you guys want to go? You guys can go together and then. speak
Yes,
one at a
please.
time. The ones that are speaking. Go ahead. That's everybody.
Great.
Hi everyone, I'm just going to be sharing a few things I like about Cadet Corps. First is I like how structured it is. It is really, really structured, and a lot of the cadets eventually have, as they have grown, have been leaders and they've taught other cadets new things, and we're still learning new things every single day. It doesn't matter if we've been there for 2 days or 2 years, we're still learning it. Something every single day.
Good evening, my name is Cadet Sergeant First Class Adam Habal. I'm the Command Sergeant Major for the 277th Battalion, Tropical Middle School. My duty is to maintain discipline and handle morale. Our cadets have been met with standards of discipline and to obtain respect and influence other cadets to be good leaders. Over this years, we have events to obtain our core values: selfless service, integrity, and respect. We have summer encampment, which teaches cadets following better instructions and bivouacs and cadet wellness.
Good evening, I'm Cadet Corporal Sladek. I'm the CO for Tropical Middle School. And I think Cadet Corps is a really great program because you learn a lot of leadership, and you might start off not knowing anything and not knowing anybody, but you get leadership opportunities and you meet a lot of new people too. Good evening, I'm Second Lieutenant Emily Corson, and I am the Deputy Commander for the 277th Battalion. I joined a little later than last year, and I have grown so much in the past year. I've had great leadership opportunities. Although I was not able to attend summer camp, I have attended most of the events in the past year and learned so much from it. We've grown closer as a family from all our extracurricular activities, and we have after school on Mondays. We've learned a lot more from that, and I've grown closer with my fellow cadets.
Hi, I'm Cadet Corporal Wiggins. A couple of things I liked about Cadet Corps when I joined was it let me get to learn more about being a leader and just showing what I can learn and be able to command some people and help some new people when they came and join and learn how to march and do with drill movements and rifles. One of my favorite events was summer camp, where we could learn how to be a cyber connect person who would hack and help learn how to program and take away viruses.
Hello, I'm Cadet Corporal Bullock,
Christopher Type. I wanted to come up here to say that as a kid coming from a special anger management class, it was hard, and I wanted to try out Cadet Corps because my sister, Michaela Lopez, was in there, and she said it helped her a lot. So I wanted to try it, and it did. That structure and that discipline really helped me get out of the anger management class.
So good evening. Most of you know I am Major Cahill. I just wanted to summarize, I think, some of the things that the board should know, and I'm glad that Bullock even mentioned it, that we do serve the population for our special education. Specifically, I pulled some statistics. Well, Tropico has grown greatly. Last year, I finished with about 150 cadets. I started with 90. I'm now at 226 cadets. I have a fourth of the population of the middle school in my program. But of that population, I have 59 students that are either on IEPs or 504s. I also have recently taken on 2 students with individual paras. And then when we return in January, I'll pick up my second student that's from our moderate to severe special ed class. So there is no student on Tropico's campus that I am not willing to take and serve and be part of our Cadet Corps. There is a sense of pride that is served when those individuals get to join us in wearing the uniform and participating in the activities. And one of the greatest successes we just had, you saw some of the highlights of the parade of lights that we just had here in Rosamond. One of our one-on-one pair cadets actually marched the entire parade and accomplished that. So it's those moments, I think, that change all of us, and it allows the cadets to help nurture and mentor those cadets. So we really do enjoy it, and one of the things I'd like the board to consider, we did, some of them mentioned the summer camp. It does cost the students $150. It's about the only thing Cadet Corps that they have to pay for is $150 to go to summer camp. Now that's $150 for 2 weeks, works out to about $12.50 a day. I know Cadet Corps does offer some $50 scholarships, and that was something I was thinking about, that maybe the district could look into offering $50 scholarships. That would take it down to just where the cadets pay $50. So summer camp is a huge thing, but send you an email. I will do that. And you can see Tropico did send 49 students last year to summer camp, and I know the high school sent about 25. So it was a good program.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, Cadet Corps. Appreciate it, and look forward to your next presentation. Next on RTA here. CSEA. Since Lexi's not here, we'll go with that. CBO report, Mr. Irvin.
All right. So I'm a little bit under the weather at the moment, so bear with me. Report's gonna be short. First term will be presented tonight. Other than that, have a safe and wonderful holiday. I'm gonna put my mask back on. Thank you.
Okay, Assistant Superintendent Instruction and Curriculum, she's not here.
Nope.
Yeah, she's still not feeling well. Okay. Associate Superintendent Human Resources, Mrs. Hargis.
Good evening, and thank you all for coming. Cadet Corps, you guys getting up there and speaking and have done just a tremendous job. It really is inspiring to watch all of the videos and the different things that you're doing. So keep up the great work. I wanted to, say welcome to Ms. Rendon on the board, and then thank you to all the staff here in Southern Kern who made it through the first semester. So I want you all to have just a great time off, and if you are traveling somewhere, please be safe, because we want everyone to come back second semester. Once we come back for second semester, it always goes really fast. So have a great time off and rest and be ready to come back.
Thank you. Superintendent report, Mrs. Gaines.
Okay, thank you. I too want to just say it's always a thrill. I'm
I don't know, Cadet Corps has a real soft spot in my heart, whether it's the high school corps or Tropico. When Major Cahill shared with me last week that she has 227, I think.
That was 27,
Yeah,
yes.
27, did we lose one? I'm panicking.
They do shift a little.
Yes, okay. I was just in awe that we have that many students, which really represents probably a fourth of one out of every student. 1 out of every 4 students there is in our Cadet Corps program. And I just want to thank you for always inviting myself and the board to be a part of the wonderful programs both you and Captain Wallace hold. It's just until you're actually there, I'm just in awe at what these kids do, and had the pleasure of being there last week at the high school when the transition from Lewis to Caden from battalion leaders, correct?
Yes.
I'm getting it. And that transit, then they look just, I mean, it's hard to believe they're only high school seniors. It really was, that whole team. And so thank you again, both of you, for the work you do. This is the living proof that what you're doing is so valuable to our kids in Southern Kern. And I also wanted to say, I don't go on Facebook. I just don't have that time. But I do sometimes hear from members of the community that there was some questions on Facebook in the past couple of days regarding attendance. So I thought I would just share a few comments that hopefully our parents who are joining us from home and those of you in the audience might need to hear for clarification, because we are seeing some sickness still out there, and we, as bad as we hate to see, we still have an occasional student that will test positive with COVID. COVID's not 100% gone, or even a staff member. So I wanted to share a few things with you regarding attendance, so it is perfectly clear. And this came from the attendance office. So this is the policies on attendance. Absences exceeding 14 days within a school year require doctor justification. Any absence exceeding 14 days requires doctor justification. Absences exceeding 3 consecutive days require doctor justification. Bereavement is 5 days excused. Attending a funeral out of state is 3 days excused. An in-state funeral is 1 day excused. 504 plans and IEPs are taken into consideration if it mentions anything about the student missing school due to health reasons. So if you have a 504, if your student has a 504 or an IEP, we want to make sure that those health concerns are mentioned in there, and that is brought to the attention of your attendance clerk if you're at the secondary or the attendance office at the district office. Parents are given 3 days to justify any child's absence. And so after that, it is perceived as an unexcused absence. COVID-19 related absences are not, let me repeat that, COVID-19 absences are not counted against the student and are coded differently. So if we have proof that your child is suffering with COVID-19, those absences will not be counted against the student. A2A letters get mailed out to parents depending on the number of absences a student has, even if the absences have been excused. A2A, the company that we use that monitors our attendance, they see a number and the letter just goes out, excused or unexcused. That's how we track all the absences. This is so that the parent is aware of the number of absences their student has. So sometimes all those letters have my name, my signature, but obviously I don't monitor every little letter that goes out. I do see the letters, but I couldn't tell you for sure which students are getting those on a regular basis unless I look at the data. I want to remind parents of 8th grade students and seniors at high school. And in the 8th grade, we have a promotion. The seniors in high school have a graduation. They must maintain, all students in 8th and the 12th grade must maintain at least a 92% attendance rate to be able to participate in that promotion ceremony or graduation ceremony. Here's what sometimes hurts our students. 3 tardies of less than 30 minutes or more equals 1 period absence. 3 tardies of 30 minutes or more equal 1 full day's absence. And what I'm noticing is that students, the tardies, they take a little longer than they should, or perhaps they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing on their way to class, and it results in tardies. So please tell your students to get to class. They have enough passing period time that allows them to comfortably move from one classroom to the next. Suspensions do count as an absence. So if you missed any of that and you want a little more clarity, I'll do my best. Please feel free to either call my office or the attendance office here at the district office. So I just wanted to go over that. When I hear about things on Facebook, I want to try to do my best to help provide some clarity for our parents out there. And I want to say that we are nearing, it's hard to believe, we are nearing the end of a first semester. It seems like we just had August. I don't know, time truly does fly. And I want to wish all of our families and all of our community members and each and every staff member out there a wonderful holiday. I know that we're all just like hanging in there, little illnesses here and there, and trying to get grades and finals of high school and just trying to get through this week. But every year it happens, and teachers and staff do a phenomenal job in making sure the students do get their finals and do get the grades submitted on time. So I just want to wish everybody a wonderful holiday. Enjoy your time with family, stay safe, and hopefully you won't come down with any flu or COVID-like symptoms, because we know they're out there.
Thank you, Mrs. Gaines. Okay, board member communications. Congratulations, Adrian. We're gonna let you introduce yourself and your chance to speak.
Okay, so my name is Adrian Redmond, and I have lived in Roseland since 2010, and I've been participating in a large amount of anything I can jump into, I'm there. So this is just kind of a way for me to kind of get my opinions out there and get a little more action done, I guess, as a parent. So I'm just excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
Mr. Moore.
I want to say thank you to the cadet corps for coming. It's always nice when you guys come. I love seeing the videos, the stories, hearing all that stuff. Congratulations on Garrett, right?
Yes, sir.
For shipping out to the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir.
That's a day before my birthday, so I think that's a good birthday present. See one of these cadets going to the Marines. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir.
Pretty fun, if you ask me. I think a lot of stuff's fun, so.
Okay. Son.
So we have a full house. I feel like you guys should be sitting up here with us. I'm glad you guys are all here to attend the last meeting of 2022. Well, for you guys. This year has flown by so fast, and I love seeing you guys out there. When I pop up on campus on Wednesdays, I see the kids with their uniforms on. Today, I see them everywhere. I don't know. I hope you guys have a happy holiday. Stay safe. Tell your family you love them, and just keep on keeping on. That's all I have. Oh yes, and I was officially elected, and I made it through my first election, and I'm happy to be here. And that's it. No, I'm done.
Mario. It's great to see the cadet corps. You guys look so nice and spiffy in your uniforms. Especially the dress ones in the back. Those,
He likes classics.
I like that.
We'll talk about getting jackets too.
That looks nice, that really does. And it shows the pride you have in yourself. I commend you for all, everything you're doing, and I really like that you're bringing in some special ed students, and I know it'll work because you are who you are. And it will work, and it'll do a good service to our special needs kids. So, with that, I want to thank Jim for his work on the board with us. I'm gonna miss you. I mean, you always come up with some good wisdom. And with that, you know what, Jim, it's your turn.
My turn?
Yeah.
Let's get your final report. Your final words, sir.
I really appreciate the opportunity. I learned a lot. It was great. You know, we did a lot of amazing things. We took over, we got elected on the board. We were going to be taken over by the state. We were in financial disaster. We sought a superintendent position. I think we got one of the finest ones in California. She does an excellent job. I don't know if anybody works as hard as her. She does a good job. I'm excited that we are financially stable. I wish we could have, you know, how I've always tried to make us more financially stable, but I've learned in this position with the school that you just can't do that. You can't save money for the rainy days. So, but we are in financial position. We're good. We're building more schools, and I'm going to be happy to see Tropical go. I'm most excited about our pre-teen school going to get started, or pre-K. That's going to be an awesome little school. Can't wait to see that get going. We did a lot of good things. I've learned a lot, and I hope I made a difference.
Can we give him a hand?
Thank you, Jim. Good luck. Again, I'm gonna kudos from Mario. I learned a lot with you for 2 years. You were very, very great guiding light, especially on those special meetings that we've had to do. You truly are for the kids, and that is well appreciated. And as I mentioned, a lot of us have learned from you, and I know we're gonna continue on. So we're gonna go with that. Adrian, congratulations on winning the election. And Sunny and Mario, congratulations on being reelected. So it'll be a pleasure to serve with you. I thank you, the board, for giving me the opportunity to lead for the next year. I hope I will keep that trust going. Cadet Corps. Just to let you know, I am a vet. I'm not retired. I am a disabled vet. I have a warm heart for Cadet Corps. Reason is because, you know, I just like the military and the military. You guys are doing great. I saw a lot of you last night over at Tropico. Did a great job presenting the colors. I enjoy it a lot, but I won't get a chance to go out and in the future, go out on the field and shake your hand before a football game because I can't do Roseman football games. So I will be the others. but I do that with the ROTCs and others because I have a lot of respect for the kids that are doing that. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. And then, my Marine Corps, my dad, was in the Marines in World War II. He did lose a leg on Iwo Jima, so it's over there someplace. But the point is that good luck with your career and you'll make it.
Thank you, sir.
No, it's not over there, Dad. I know where it's at. Okay, thank you for everybody who is here. Attorney Ewing. Thanks. I knew you were gonna get me on that one. That's fine. We've got a lot of work to do. One of the things that I am highly interested in and have been is the quality of education for our students. All the items that are going on out there, like the clubs, robotics, cadet corps. The reason why I have you come here because it gives you an opportunity to have FaceTime with the board. And being in the military, I know how FaceTime is very important. So, keep, as I said, and you see me on the streets, you can say hi. Not that hard to get along with. Okay. Be quiet, Sonny. Other than that, Merry Christmas to everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody next year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Good to see you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Okay, consent items, A through H. Does anybody have any questions?
Comments.
Oh, do we have any comments from the public?
None.
None?
Yeah, I got a comment. Part of the public now. Hey, I worked hard for the kids. There's something on the agenda tonight that's really important to me. It's the no-F policy. I would really like to see that passed tonight. I just believe that there's students out there that do struggle, and that if we can give them the opportunity to improve that grade, letting the coaches and their mentors encourage them to get that grade up, I think we're really doing something good for our kids. To expel them and not let them play sports or any activities because they receive one F, I don't think we should be able to do that. I understand we're here to educate first, but sometimes this is how kids learn, is through that mechanism of being out there on a sporting team and the activity. So I really hope that passes tonight.
Thank you, sir. Okay, now we go to consent items. Items A through H.
I make a motion that we accept A through H.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Can we talk about item F? Leanne, tell me how I know are we renewing for another 2 months? Is that what's happening?
This would be a renewal period from February to August.
And can I ask how the results were? Do we bring in some good candidates?
We haven't really necessarily asked people about, if the billboards were what brought them in. But any recruiting that we can do is obviously helpful. We have one that is a static billboard as you come into the Antelope Valley, and then we have our digital one that is in Lancaster City Park. This also, helps us when we have to apply for waivers, whether it's for an administrator or a teacher, because we have to be able to show, how many ways did we go about looking for staff. So, even if it just, somebody coming on into the valley, they say, oh, it's Southern Kern, come put our name out there. So I think it's been valuable.
Okay, I've got a motion. Do I have a second? You are? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now, this is Jim's request. We have approved the removal of no-F policy, administrative regulations, board policy 6145, extracurricular and co-curricular activities. Mrs. Gaines?
Yes, as This was mentioned at our last board meeting. The NOAF policy was put on hold for 1 year, allowing students who may have 1F on their transcript, but passing grades in the other core or in the other content areas to participate in sports. This was, board member Hepburn asked if we could table this at the last board meeting, and we did, and so it is brought back tonight as an action item. Both of the copy of the administrative reg and the board policy, I believe, are in your packet. The administrative reg is on page 59, and the board policy is on page 61. If you look at the back of page 60, board members, it says, we line through the statement that reads, it's in red. In addition, students cannot have any Fs during the grade reporting periods. That has been lined through because that is the sentence primarily that we are asking, or that you are discussing to remove, which would say that a student, as long as a student maintains a 2.0 grade point average, that would allow them to participate in sports and extracurricular activities. So that is the sentence primarily, either based on your action tonight, we will put back in the policy, or it would be removed.
I make a motion to approve.
Hold on. I got a question. Didn't we do a thing last year where if they had an F, we let them sign something saying they had a semester to bring it up or something?
We did.
Okay, did that ever pass?
Yes.
Okay, so we're already giving them the chance to like raise their grades, so what are we, no. If we remove the F, then we up the GPA.
No.
Because they need to have some kind of something to,
There has to be a consequence to the
Exactly.
grade.
Well, the state CIF, let's say 2.0.
No.
No,
They raised it.
no, it's been 2.0 forever.
It wasn't 1.5.
No, the 1.5 was,
The 2.0, then it did get raised.
yeah, it's been 2.0 as long as I've been in the officiating. So we know that. It's, what you're asking about doing is that
We, as a district, implemented a no-F policy about 15 years ago.
Good.
Yeah.
Something ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm serious, and I do believe that there's kids out there that, I don't know how. When I'm here, I gotta remember that I'm a board member. The way I wanna say that is not appropriate. But there is teachers out there that will purposely fail a student because they do not like them. Trust me.
I agree with that.
So,
It happens.
so Mr. Moore, maybe I just,
But this is where I get stuck in the middle, because I don't know if these kids do, like, I don't know. Are there really teachers out there that are failing kids because they don't like them?
see,
I mean, sometimes I take it to that
You have
effect,
the-
but, I mean, I don't think a teacher's purposely gonna just flunk you. They might dock you, they're not gonna flunk you. But,
Dwayne, I see.
so what?
Well, but I want to
But
take.
why have we decided to go and change this?
I asked.
Like, I wasn't here for this, so I just wanna get some.
Jim
info before I
asked,
tell you guys.
Jim asked because he doesn't agree. I do not agree with it because there are, and I'm gonna just put it to you this way, we have other means of holding their feet to the fire. It also gives us an opportunity to, the coaches, to have the ultimate decision on whether or not they're going to play a kid in grades, any one of them. And they could, in fact, say, okay, you got an F, you're not trying hard enough. Let's give that choice to the coach. we're one of the few that have that policy, and most everybody is
So
starting to get rid
how,
of it.
okay, so if we take our F policy, 2.0, it's not that hard to get.
No, it's not.
Okay, so now we know that most of our 99% to 100% of our athletes that are playing now, whether they flunk or not, and get that one F are gonna play. How else are we gonna hold them accountable for failing a class besides giving them an F? Because think about it. I like to play baseball, but my mom told me if you get a C or lower,
That's your mom.
you're not playing. I don't care if it's my mom or not. A school, you are in school 6 to 8 hours a day to learn and get an education, so I don't have to work to provide for your family. You are in school to learn, to do schoolwork, to do homework, and then if you get good grades, you get to go play that sport that you enjoy playing as a hobby. Not just because, oh, I gotta have, screw it.
So do you
But I still
think
get to go to
if a
baseball
student had
practice.
all Ds and there was one student that had,
Well, all
I-
D's is failing anyways. That's
well,
lower
I'm
than the
just saying,
2.0.
okay, and an A. And then a student has A's and fails a particular class for a situation, maybe they're sick, maybe they're missing assignments. I'm not saying that's the case, but like Mario said, this was implemented 10, 15 years ago because it was 1.5, is that what you said? That's
Used to be
what-
1.5, and it didn't matter if you had any yes. And we raised it at that time to 2.0, even though CIF had not raised the bar yet. And we added a no F policy to get kids, the way I see it, is if you ask somebody to do a better job so they can play, they will do it. We are one of the few schools that we got a academic award because all the girls on our soccer team were B's or better. They had like 3.0 or better, everything.
But they knew if they got that
They
one
knew, well,
F, they weren't playing.
they.
Right or wrong?
Exactly.
And they wouldn't.
And
So
there was, in other words, if they want to play, you've got to keep the
let me ask you a
bar.
question. When did you graduate, Mario?
What's that?
When did you graduate?
1976.
Bob's?
65.
2000.
I didn't because I couldn't keep up the grades.
Here we
I
are.
left school because they wouldn't let me do sports. That was the biggest thing on my thing. That's what kept me in school was, and then my coaches helped me. They came out and they helped me. They said, Jim, you're not playing Friday if you don't get your grades up. I worked on it as hard as I could. Give that choice back to the coaches to discipline their kids. There's nothing worse than being on a football team and being a player, a starting player, and have to sit the sideline. That's discipline. That's gonna get their attention.
True.
It just shouldn't get to that point though, to where they have to, so the teacher and the parents and the student all need to be advocating,
To make sure that student.
so it doesn't get that far.
So we don't have a bunch of rocket scientists. I tried very hard in school. Trust me, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't. We got kids out there that have problems. That's why AV and all them guys are winning championships because they got our kids. But because they quit here and go over there.
But what are they gonna learn? What are they gonna do when they get out?
Somebody that has
Maybe
discipline,
they'll own Guidos.
they'll have discipline, they'll learn hard because we establish good coaching positions to give these kids instructions, to tell them, no, it's not right. You're gonna sit the bench. You're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to do certain things to play. But if we just tell them, there's no hope for you because I just don't know algebra. I just can't get it. Well, there's no hope for you to play. That's how we are. We can't be that way.
It's not like that.
Yes, it
I
is.
guarantee every coach out there that wants these players is gonna work with them.
That's what I mean. Give it
They
back to
will
the
work
coaches.
with them. But the coaches, they will work with the kids to get them to play.
Exactly.
When, even back when I was playing, it was only a 1.5 and no F policy, that was nothing there. Our coaches would start looking for recruits because of course we are a very small school and we played hardband football because there was only like 13 of us. And coach couldn't afford somebody to be out because their grades weren't up and they wanted you to come out and play. So they would start working on you the year before to make sure that you kept your grades up so you could play.
You know what our
Now, my
coaches are now?
parents-
You know what our coaches do now? Not now, not our staff now. I believe we've got a really good staff. In the past, what our coaches did was, don't worry about old Tommy here because he won't get the grades. He's gonna come out, he's gonna play, he's gonna make the team and all that, but don't put much effort into him. Even though he's a good player and we could really use him, he won't make the grade. He'll have an F. That's what happens in the last 10 years in our school district. Exactly what happened. They don't take that student and work with him because he just can't do it. I mean, you guys just vote on it, go ahead and get it done. But the simple thing is, we got kids that just can't do it, and we're doing a disfavor by not letting them try with the coaches and every other opportunity.
But if we don't get them out of that F, just hear me out on this one. If we don't get them out of the F, they're not gonna graduate with that. I mean, if they've got, say, algebra, we're failing algebra. If they fail algebra all through their high school career, they can't graduate.
Yeah, we have to work on that. And
So
that's what we
why
get
not
everybody involved.
use sports as the hook to get them?
Because this is what happens, Mario, and everybody can shake their head and do whatever they want. As soon as you take that from that kid, he lost his drive. He lost his drive.
I know.
He lost his drive, he gave up, because mentally, he saved himself, I can't do this, I tried, now they won't let me play. I'm just gonna give up.
The, all the statistics that CIF puts out, shows that kids who play sports are 80% more likely to be in school, so they can play, so because of their attendance. Now, it also shows that their grades are higher because they're in sports. Because the coaches don't want to lose one because they can't make grades.
Exactly, but we're taking it out of coaches' hands and everything.
Well,
We're
all
taking
we're
out.
doing is giving them another little hand up so they
No,
can keep
we're,
working.
we're saying, don't show up to practice tomorrow. That's what we're saying.
I'm gonna ask a question.
Yes.
How many kids do we have in eighth, well, maybe Mrs. Gaines, how many kids do we have in eighth grade in the district?
In eighth grade, we have.
275.
About 275? How many 12th graders do we have in the district?
A lot less.
A lot less.
Not a lot less, but the high school's enrollment is up
So we're
this year.
losing kids.
No, we are, listen to me, we live in a military community, we are right next to a base, so a lot of these kids come here in 6th or 7th grade, and by 10th grade, they're out of here. Trust and believe, not everybody's like me and Jim and Mario, we're here.
I can relate, 'cause I was in the military too.
And you moved from school to school.
Yeah, I never lived
How
anywhere.
long were you out of school?
I never lived anywhere more than 5 years.
Exactly.
But in theory, if you've moved out in eighth grade, there should have been somebody else taking your place in 12th.
Not really.
No, really.
All I'm saying is in today's
I
society.
was in the military.
How
No,
many
I had my two
kindergartners
kids.
do we have?
Right, so just so I just, I'm not, but last year I was at the high school, okay? So freshmen, it's all because we're also growing though.
Yeah.
So our smallest class in the district is our seniors right now. Our second smallest class, I think, is our sophomores, to be honest, something happened there. But if you really look at it, it's not a, and I'm not, I'm just saying it's not a fair comparison for the fact that when you go back to when these students are 12th graders, you go back 12 years ago, when we start, like, I'm sure that that's just, you have to actually look at the numbers from kindergarten up to see.
That then we go through.
Right, because like right now, we've got about 60 more kids than when we started in 6th grade. I mean, Tropical is bursting right now. Hence why we all improved the construction. But I want to say we're up to like 100 kids at Tropico. I couldn't tell you the exact numbers, but I do know last year's senior class was actually larger than this year's. But then there's something that happened, and maybe it was budget cuts, maybe it was lost a job. I don't know, but I'm just saying, I know that it, all of a sudden, I remember when I was there, it was like, okay, next year's gonna be a small graduation. After that, we're in for it.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's just to let you, the numbers aren't exactly.
So on this no F policy, let me just see if I can clarify this. So the CIF, the state, I think we all know and agree it's 2.0 for players to play. Has nothing to do with no Fs. So let's just say somebody did get COVID, somebody did get sick. Maybe they were able to keep up with all their classes that were in a Google Classroom, but one teacher didn't use Google Classroom, and so they now have an F. They come back and now they can't really play.
Now, COVID, and that's why last year it was suspended because,
Okay, so maybe it's monkeypox now.
okay, if it's a pandemic type situation, we could always suspend it at any given time. But like we did for last year, we had to have a vote to suspend it. So the kids who did struggle online could play.
But I guess I'm more targeting, like I know specifically at Tropico, there's one teacher that doesn't use Google Classroom. Actually, I don't even use it that much. But so if somebody's at home, it makes it more difficult. So we have a one-off situation. And I think what you were saying, actually, Mr. Moore, I heard some of it that not every child is raised in the same environment. Your mom was on you. We have a number of children in this community. I've definitely learned that they don't have parent support. Their parents are both working if there's even, or they're being raised by grandparents or foster care. Maybe they came from another school district. Tons of foster students. I have a number on my caseload. Those kids would have an F, and now all of a sudden they're exactly where Mr. Bender's saying this would be bad.
Well,
They couldn't play.
there is a statute in there that states that if they are coming in from another school, like say they had an F in 8th grade, okay? When they come into 9th grade, they're actually exempt from the F.
Okay.
Just for the first.
So now they have, now, if they're in school and they fail that first semester, if they want to play baseball that spring, now they're not eligible.
And so, and I guess this is the social worker coming out in me. So you failed math, you're not a math kid, you failed math all the way through, and we haven't quite received the special services we're needing. So yes, there could be that second semester of failing math, and now they're out of sports, now we're in the situation they can't. I would be recommending that the 2.0 that the state has set is good, it's inspiration. We need to keep those kids above a 2.0, no doubt. It's great to hear a soccer team that's all above 3.0. And I know my cadets will tell you, Major Cahill won't let me go on this activity. There's some activities everybody can go on, but some activities they can't, to make my cadets get better grades. And they fight tooth and nail. Right now, they're turning papers in right now for the next 2 days to their teachers. So I do think it goes back to that coach can inspire.
Yes.
But for our district, we already struggle in academics. If we're just losing the bottom end because we're adding an F policy to what the state minimum is, we could hurt ourselves even more. Let the coaches help them.
Just to go back to it, because it came up last week, and I don't think that our district, because I know I didn't have an athletic director last year, understand that this policy isn't just for sports though.
No, it's not.
This goes to your cadets that cannot, if they fall below the 2.0, which I wasn't aware of. So it's not an option of majors policy, it's actually the district's policy that technically you let some of them do all activities, they really shouldn't be.
You will, yeah.
No, they shouldn't already though, which I wasn't aware of, because we all, until they mentioned it last week, I actually pulled up, I said, so this is actually for its activities, any extracurricular, whether you're organized or not, is a 2.0. But the question is, like,
Marching band's
Right.
part of
Marching
it.
band?
yeah,
Marching band's part of it, and drama club would be part of it. All these clubs, because they're all that,
After.
they're all after. The thing, there's a couple things that Mr. Johnson, who's our athletic administrator, pointed out to me. He had a student that was terrible in algebra. He mentioned it. He said, young man turned around and waited and waited. Now this is a young man that's on a college track. He decided to take basic math rather than take the algebra, so he wouldn't fail the algebra because he knows he's going to struggle. I struggled with math. desperately when I was in high school. I wouldn't have made playing sports. I wouldn't have been able to play basketball. I wouldn't have been able to go to my audiovisual club. All those things based on this policy. And I did get a chance to talk to Michael Hunter and the other day. He's one of our assistant football coaches, Nat is as well. He's saying, well, we used to have after-school programs before we go to practice or after practice that they would tutor the students. And he said, we need to get back to that. And I think with the no F policy, the kids are gonna say, not gonna matter. Because they wanna play, and based on that, and if and we'll have to agree. When I walk on a football field at Lancaster High School or AV, I'll get somebody come up to me and go, Mr. Vincelette, how you doing? What are you doing here? Well, I can't play a Roseman.
I can name 2 students that are in Cadet Corps right now that they're scoping for football. In fact, I think they're already playing for the high school and middle school down in Lancaster.
Yeah, and we see it all, and I see it all the time. So we're losing those kids that we shouldn't be losing. And if they don't get the 2.0, they're not gonna play anyways. And that 2.0 was instituted not actually by the state CIF, but that is the National Federation. That comes all the way from the National Federation of High School Sports. So I'm in favor of eliminating it and moving all that. Sorry, Nat, but all the responsibility of the coaches to make the cut.
I'm all for it.
I know you
Take
would.
that responsibility every day. Let us motivate our students. I'm telling you, 1F is gonna kill them.
Hey, I'll tell you what. F, what does F mean? Failing? You don't get to play sports, but I'll tell you what. We can remove the F policy and have 2.0s. I want to know how many athletes we have at the end of every week and how many of those athletes have Fs. And then I'm gonna contact every coach that coaches a sport in this district and ask them, what are you doing to help this one athlete who has an F? If I don't see any progress or I don't see any help or anything, this F policy will come back. Because I already was told that we were giving them a waiver because it would help us. It would help the kids be able to get their F. It would be inspirational to say, hey, we know you got an F, but you have you have a semester to get your ass back in here. And here we are now just saying, Free Willy, waiver didn't work, let's just take the F policy away. So, I don't know. I went to an award ceremony for a first grade class, and everybody got an award because your sticker placement was correct, because this was correct, because in today's society, we are giving too much to these children, and we are not making them work for it.
Can I say something?
So I don't know.
I hear what you're saying. I have a student who struggles a lot, and getting her motivated to do work, it's very difficult. And she's an F student right now, and I'm like, let's do your work. What do you need to do? Let's go. Let me help you. And it's something else. But if she had the opportunity to play sports or extracurricular activities, she gets motivated when she's working towards something. So, I saw this policy. I tabled it last week because I wasn't sure. I liked hearing from Jim, and every child's situation is different. You don't know what they're dealing with, what they have at home, but if you give them something that they can strive towards, and a coach that will help them, I feel like giving them the opportunity will help them in the long run. We could bring it back later if they fail, if we check everybody out and they're not doing their job, then hey, let's bring it back up. But I think giving them a chance and changing this right now would be good for a lot of kids.
Especially the at-risk kids.
So the students that say are on a team, they do have Fs. they are allowed to continue practicing, but they cannot participate in the games.
So for the coach.
It's up to the coach.
And
Because
so-
you can have all A's and one F. Okay, you're way above the 2.0. But that coach, and I know they do it, they'll go out and they want grades. They have to give a grade slip every week to them so they know where those kids are. Because if they get to, the quarter, if they got bad grades, they don't play. So they want these kids to play, and it's awful hard when, you know, in like for football, for instance, you are gonna get injuries, okay? So you start depleting, and you're gonna wind up like Mojave, who had to forfeit games this year because they didn't have enough players because of injuries. That's not a real good reason. Believe me, I wanna see a good student athlete, but I also wanna be able to see kids who come in, they're out there, mom, dad work, and he's gotta take care of his kids. And the kids are sick and everything, so his grades suffer. We gotta help them out. And, you know, so forth, but I believe the coaches really want to do this because it makes them look good, and then, you know, and then they've got the discipline. For this. That's what I'm looking at, is discipline. Because it's another way for the coaches to get discipline on these kids.
So the coaches already can advocate for their players, right? They can, or they.
No, the no-F policy, no-F policy prevents that. If we take it out, now they can advocate for the players, they can work hard with them. And if the kid doesn't make it, they're the ones that are
It
gonna
should
pull
go
it.
to the teacher. It shouldn't be up. It shouldn't go. It's the student and the teacher. They are a group, and so when you're in a classroom, you're working together. Sometimes it's not, it's the teacher that's not.
That's exactly,
Updating
okay.
their.
Let's go ahead and do the vote.
All right, we got a motion.
Okay. Yeah, I amend the motion.
Go ahead.
We take the no-F policy off the books today and revisit it again over the summer, but I want staffs. After each season, how many kids played that have. And I want the staff. Yeah, just, yeah. That way we can see, are we allowing kids that have 1F, 2Fs, 3Fs to participate? You know, and they still can get, I know, I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I want to see the numbers.
They can't get 2 Fs.
No, if they get 2 Fs, they're not gonna make it.
I know they can get one and still make it.
How about discipline?
Discipline does affect, they cannot play if they're on a behavior contract for something real stupid at the school.
No, it's up to the,
Yeah, the school is
it's up to the coach.
Yes,
coaches.
I wanna give, yeah, that.
I'm not gonna lie, all the coaches, but they usually, what happens with that, sorry, but you're asking me, with behavioral, coaches will only implement that on game day. You know, they will not hold them out of a game, at least in my experience last year. They would not hold them out of a game because, unless it fell on a game day with suspension.
No, well, I know, but with that's
We're gonna
something,
fix that.
But that was left to the
that's what
coaches.
Jimmy will fix, I can tell you that.
That's not how it's
We're
operated.
gonna get a report
That's not.
Yes.
at the end of every sports season, telling us how many kids
And then
we
we're
let
gonna
play that
revisit
had
it at the end of the year.
No, 2 years.
No, I want to see,
You can see the reports, but we're not gonna make any changes for 2 years because things can change. Let's get some
I
data.
want to see data, and
You
then
can
we
see
will
that.
revisit it again after school's up.
Mario, are you going to do that data on a weekly basis because the grades change week by week?
I want to see what their end result, each quarter and semesters. And I want to see every kid's grades, I want to see and I want to see if there's a pattern.
I would also need to have, it needs to be incorporated into, and this is what we were doing, we were hiring the coaches in that, the coaches had to also, in our interviews, they have to be willing to do grade checks. They have to be willing to, but I can, it's not happening.
But
I
we
know-
do,
I know Mr., I think Mr. Dr. Wallace does it. If he speaks with the kids. Now, it's also different because he's on campus.
Right.
I mean,
we
it's a lot
do,
easier.
that our coaches aren't doing it this year.
They are doing it.
They are.
No, I'm talking about last year. I don't have any experience this year. I'm just going by last year.
I was a 1-game winning streak. Yeah.
So I was
1-game winning
doing
streak.
So I would do it for the coaches because I was like,
grade check every week. When I
Right.
played, we had a grade
Yeah.
check every week.
That's,
And we had to bring it signed by each teacher
Yes,
with their
because
grade,
you
or we
were,
didn't get to practice.
because you were on the NOF policy. Yeah.
No, I was way before that.
No.
The no-F policy was
All my
brought
kids-
in 10 years ago.
That was more than that.
I've been on the
No.
district for 15 years ago. Yeah. 10 years ago.
2012?
Yeah.
I was-
I was so.
So, Mr. President, if I
Yes.
could just make a suggestion, no, it's okay. You know, in listening to each and every one of you, from Adrian on down to Mario, you're all making some really critical and good points. I just want to, I'm just gonna advocate for the kids for just a second. And I say this only because I've seen it. There could be, if you keep the F policy in place, those kids, I have actually seen teachers who are failing 85% of the kids who come into their classroom. As an educator, I can tell you, and this room is filled with educators, that is not a student issue. That's a teacher adult issue. A child could have 5 A's and 1 F, ending in a 3.33 grade point average, and by this policy, not be eligible to play any sport or be in any club. So I just ask that you, I know that might seem rare, but I have seen teachers who fail so many students, you wonder why the kids have just given up.
But respectfully, I would say, okay, we have Mr. Moore, I'm a 12th grade government economics teacher. I'm failing 85% of my students. I would expect Mr., what's his name? I'm just gonna say Suresh, because I know Suresh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, I expect Suresh to come to you and say, hey, 85% of these kids are failing in this class, and it has been happening the last 2 to 3 years. What's the deal? Then that teacher should go. Then that is not become a student issue, it is not a teacher issue, that becomes a district issue. Because let me tell you something, if there is a teacher on any one of these campuses failing 85% of their students, in my eyes, they're not considered a teacher.
I
He
think
ain't teaching them anything.
I'm
if
just
this
saying
affects
that,
one student, it's too much.
yeah.
And I
do-
know it's done now.
Yeah.
Here, am I getting my data?
Dr.
You know,
Wallace, you got something?
Sure.
Go ahead, sir.
2 or 3 years isn't gonna help a senior that's trying to get to college this year. You know, if a teacher's messing up and a guy's trying to get to play college ball next year or, you know, that, and I'll just speak from a coach, a teacher, and, you know, I can't tell you how many times I've been called to the office because a player is not doing something right. I'll have it, you know, English teacher say, one of your players is messing up in my English class. But I would never be on the baseball field and go to the English teacher, hey, your English student is messing up on my baseball field. Right? Yeah. Okay, so what I'm saying is coach, as a coach, I've been coaching about 20 years. I get called out by teachers all the time. You need to fix your player. And I do. And I can tell you I've stood in this boardroom for players that I was trying to help recover from bad decisions. And there's one that just, I believe, just completed, and he was expelled from school for bad decisions. He just finished his service in the United States Marine Corps. And it was because our school gave him a chance to play baseball that he was able to recover for some stupid decisions and serve our country. So I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, I'm a firm believer that sports is an incredible way to change kids' lives.
And Charlie, I agree with you, but it's not just the sports, it's any extracurricular activity.
Yeah, like cadet corps.
Like cadet corps. You know, there's, you know, look, these kids, and it's a kid, you know, some of them do mess up. I mentioned, was talking a little bit, you got, yeah, I'm sure you've had the kids, and I know Nat's had them. As a youngster, his mother and dad are working, they're working nights, he's gotta take care of the siblings. He doesn't get the full opportunity to, you know, do his studies and things like that. And we're gonna punish him, no, I don't think so. I think what we need to do at that point in time is get with the kids. We need mentors, and as I said, Michael Hunter said, we need to get back to that. I know Cal City does it. They will turn around and the coaches will have the kids either before practice or after practice, depending, and they will spend time tutoring the kids. And if we see that, I don't see any reason, I agree with you, Mara, I'd like to see data, but I'd like to see data over the next 2 years, because 1 year is not gonna tell us anything. Or even
But
6
it'll be a
months.
start.
But it'll be a start.
I'd just like to add to that, because again, as a teacher, it's not like teachers don't care about their students, but if you have 150 students, you're limited to how much help you can give. But if you have a coach, if you're coaching varsity baseball, you have 15 baseball players, you can really focus on those guys more than I can as a teacher. And so it's just an incredible opportunity to do what you're talking about, mentoring. I've sat in the dugout many hours with players talking about things that had nothing to do with baseball.
Mhm.
And you know that, so, and teachers don't have that opportunity usually.
Right, let me say something.
Yes.
So one of my daughters who's graduated, she pretty much had all A's, but struggled in math class. So she had still a 3 point something GPA. I mean, she wasn't a slacker. She retook the class and got a B later, but it was just a struggle at the time, but she wasn't being lazy. So I think it's like everybody's doing it poorly, but if you have a struggle, say math or maybe English or something like that, but overall you're doing really well, you're not a slacker, I think that's something to be considered.
I do think your sports committee needs to take a look at everything, not just the policy. Because, I mean, I remember I had a meeting with Coach Wallace, and it doesn't affect every sport either. Because it resets at the end of the year. This is what they were doing, so I'm just saying, so because like Mr. Brenda said, you're not gonna tell that kid he doesn't have a chance to come out for the football team, because COVID happened, because that's what I was saying. Okay, but for Coach Wallace, you know, there's a couple of plays that I had to go re-put on academic probation for the fact, but like he had said too, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, Coach, but like, you know, you had 2 or 3 plays that were ineligible that you had to work with, but they probably weren't eligible the whole year. But now it falls on Coach Wallace to have to mentor these kids and get them, because it affects his baseball season. So I think there needs to be a broader scope here of looking at these kids who want to play sports and getting them the interventions and stuff like that they need, as opposed to just waiting for that season to start. Because, I mean, you're already behind me. I mean,
And
I'm just saying, I mean, that's what I
Waiving
noticed.
the 2.0.
What was that?
I said, we're not waiving the 2.0.
No.
Right,
No.
and Barbara, I would just add one more quick thing here. We as a district, and maybe we as a nation, have failed. It's on us as the adults, on us as the teachers. We have failed these students for the past 3 years with COVID. These kids have not had the math instruction they should have had. They've not had the daily practice. And so now we are asking them to build on a foundation that we have allowed to be a mess. And now we're going to hold them accountable for the foundation that we have allowed to be a mess. And I think there's got to be a little bit of grace in there, especially during this period. Now, this is from a grandmother whose kid didn't get back her phone until all of her grades were up to A's and B's and 1C. So I'm not in favor of, but there are these children, and we've got a poor foundation.
And I will point out that the reason her granddaughter did get her grades up was because she was mentored by another cadet.
Yes,
We pulled in cadets from the high school. So
absolutely.
we're keeping those kids in those organizations. It should be our priority.
I know this is gonna be a struggle, and let's just go on with it. But I'd like to see a vote, just however you wanna vote it, to end it or keep it. I don't think we need to suspend it or ask for waivers. It's just one or the other. To me, just, let's either keep it or get rid of it. But if we keep it, I truly believe we're not looking at the kids, looking towards the students. We're really not.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add one more thing. In terms of coaches and those who are in charge of the activities, aren't they an extension of education? And so I think based off of this vote, if you're essentially not putting the faith in these educators, you can call them coaches, you can call them whatever you like, but they're still providing an education to them. And it feels like you're hindering their ability to do that. And yeah, teachers have, a long list of students that they all can't, attend to, and then you have these educators, these coaches that have the ability to do that, and it feels like you're hindering their ability to do that by taking that away from them. And I just wanted to add that before you guys voted.
And I'm gonna dovetail onto yours, just a second, young lady. I'm gonna dovetail onto that. As an official, we know the football field, the basketball courts, the baseball diamonds are extension of the educational process. The officials have one job out there. They're the test proctors, because those kids get tests at every game. Okay, so we know that. So you're correct in your assessment. Young lady, you have something to say?
So I'm not a sports person, so I can't speak for the sports, but for cadet corps, like Major Cahill, she doesn't, if we have really bad grades, then she'll tell us like, you're not gonna do this, or if we're showing up late to classes, you can't do this. She won't let us do that kind of stuff. But she'll work with us so that we are able to. But we're still able, we still show up to the classes, we're still able to get leadership opportunities, we're still able to do stuff like that. We just can't always do the bigger stuff. Like with the sports players, they're still sitting on the bench, but they're still there. And if they can get help doing it, they can still be playing the sports. Even if they have if they can get help doing it, they can still be doing it.
Thank you.
Icing on top of the cake.
Yes. There's
Good job.
one other thing. Somebody else wants to speak?
No, I need.
Okay. One other thing, and Nat will agree with me, is that the hardest sport to have kids prepared is football. And the reason why it's hard is because even the CIF will not allow them to put on pads or anything, 2 weeks? For 2 weeks. So if we take a kid out of that sport for 2 weeks, he's got another 2 weeks, he's gotta get prepared back. And so that becomes an issue as well, because those kids are gonna get hurt. That's a collision. Okay.
Okay, that's call for the question.
All right,
I continue with my motion to approve the.
I'll second the motion, but I want stats.
Give him
I will
stats.
agree. And we'll put on there, we'll amend it, that stats must be provided by each coach on a monthly basis. Let's do it on a
Whatever.
monthly
I just want-
basis on the grades.
Because I want to visit it. Oh, well, never mind.
Mr. Vincelette?
Yes, ma'am.
Since I'm probably going to be the one to have to pull those stats for you, could we do, we can go back to the 22-23 school year and start with football and all the sports in between, but do you mind if we do the quarter and semester grades?
That's fine.
Those are the ones that
Those
are
are-
on the report card, and that will show how many were eligible at this point in time, how many eligible
I
at
will
this
agree
point
with
in
that.
time.
I will agree
That
with that.
will make it a little easier, asking people to backtrack for football when grades weren't full.
Yeah.
I will be the one to provide those.
Okay. That way. All right, call for the vote. I'm going to say yes. Aye.
I
With regret.
Amen.
How many do you have?
I'm on
You want to abstain?
fence about it.
You can abstain.
Yes, I think I'm going to.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we have 4 ayes, okay? 3?
Wait a minute.
What?
You said aye.
Yeah, I said yeah.
So we have 4. Okay, motion passes. Okay, but I will say this though, we will monitor this from the board. I know Mario has got a regret, I understand, we're gonna do it. All right, business operations, approval resolution 22-23-09 regarding annual and 5-year county, development fees for the 2021-22 fiscal year and the following funds for accounts 2025, capital facility fees, government code section 66001D and 6606B. Mr. Irvin?
We're talking while standing up this time. So this is the annual resolution, going over what our developer fees were spent on for 21-22. The amount of our developer fees currently is $4.08 per square foot for residential construction and 66 cents per square foot for commercial. Overall, from July 1 through June 30th of last year, July 1, 21 to June 30, 22, the district collected $352,000 in fees and accrued $13,800 in interest. Like typical years, the vast majority of what we spent for developer fees was on the leases for our portable classrooms, which accounted for 60% of the expenditure. The other major component of the expenditure has been the early part of the Tropical Middle School expansion, paying for geotesting and site utility lookup and all of that to prepare for the upcoming construction. Approximately 1% was spent on administrative fees from Twin County, as we are unincorporated and don't have a local entity for that. At this point, there are no identifications of needing to make any fund transfers or loans made from Fund 25 to General Fund or Fund 13, anything like that. So that is it on the developer fees.
I will make a motion to accept the resolution.
Okay, motion by Mr. Gutierrez. Second by Mr. Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Hearing 5 ayes, motion passes. First interim report, Mr. Irvin.
All right, with your packets, you have an additional nice stack of papers because I forgot to plug one number in and then had to run 3 different reports to show the ramifications of not plugging in one number. So this is an addendum to what was in the board packet of the original draft. So this staple handout has an updated multi-year projection, updated Fund 1 specifically expenditure and revenue, and then updated criterion and standards. So, all right. So, what is first internal? There are 4 major parts of the budget cycle, starting in June of the preceding year with the development of the budget and ending in September of the following year with unaudited actuals. But then in between those 2 points are first and second interim. First interim is the report of expenditures as of October 31st. So from July 1 to October 31st. And then once we get past January, I begin work on second interim where these are periodic updates of where we are and what's changed and what hasn't and everything, because budgets aren't carved into stone, thankfully, because I need a bigger chisel. So first up is our revenues. The revised revenue for first interim is $65,400,000. This is up from what was proposed at budget of 56 million. So there's a $9 million difference. Large part of this is the increase in the LCFF base. If you guys remember from presentations for the budget, unknown COLA for the LCFF base, we didn't know what it was at the time. So instead of taking a guess and then getting it terribly wrong and then, having to back up everything, figured it'd be easier to, estimate it at zero and add to it. Additionally, there have been increases in EPA funding as well as property tax projections from Kern County. So our unrestricted revenues are based on the LCFF calculation. Our bulk of our unrestricted funds comes through either the LCFF base grant itself or supplemental and concentration, which are very district by district based off of attendance as well as our unduplicated pupil percentage. And then some of our restricted includes COVID-19 funding that we still are receiving, including the IPI and ELO grant. The restricted revenues for this year does not include all of our SS3 funds because there's still years that we can use that. Our estimated funded ADA at this point is 3,311.56, which is higher than what was anticipated in the budget, but our enrollment has grown substantially over the course of this first part of the year compared to what was expected with the budget. And the reserves are projected at 21.21 at the end of this year. So this is the side-by-side comparison between the revenues, various facets. You can see the large jump in the state LCFF revenue, as well as the other state revenue that goes along with ELO and IPI funding. Expenditures are the budgeted expenditures are 63,211,902. This is also higher than it was when we did the budget, partially because yes, we have more money, but also after development of the budget, we had to redo the LCAP for this year to include carryover from last year. So all of those carryover expenditures have been included into this year's budget. Let's see what else we got in there. And then there's one-time funding sources still in there for summer school, extra duty, et cetera, that have come with the increased COVID dollars. Our district's supplemental concentration for the LCAP as a first interim is 11,849,000. The salary and benefits making up approximately, or not approximately, but 72.8% of the budgeted expenditures. And this is the breakdown of the expenditures in each of the categories. So a lot of shift in books and supplies, capital outlays expanded, and this is all part of, not all, but largely part of LCAP expenditure of knowing that if we need to spend these funds that, are distinctly one time, so we're not tying ongoing costs to that. But you can see that, from our July 1 budget of 55 million to the overall expenditure of 63 million, that there's, been quite an increase, but, $5 million in carryover and additional funding will do that. So these are the multi-year projection assumptions. So for current year, unrestricted revenues includes the base supplemental segments of LCF. The COLA, our statutory COLA is 6.5 with the additional 6.7 for the LCFF base. Our ADA is approximately about 89% by the end of first interim. So restricted funding includes ELO, IPI, SR2, and then again partially SR3. What it does not include for the multi-year is the salary increases that were board approved last week due to time constraints of needing to have a drafter ready by Friday. So very small window to work in to update all of the salary schedules and position control and everything else that puts the salary and benefit calculation together. So these are the assumptions for the out 2 years for the multi-year. Step and column salary increases are about 2 to 3 1/3 each year. The consumer price index is based off of School Services of California's dartboard for districts, as well as the cost for employee pensions. Our categorical spending and revenue for our federal programs is projected flat, and then have whittled out the IPI and SR2 funds as those that are, will expire by the end of next year, or by September of next year, and then SR3 will expire in 23-24. So this is what the multi-year projection looks like. We started the year at 17 million. We'll end at 13, but that is largely due to the carryover from the LCAP. So that we were, very cash heavy at the beginning of the year. So that's why it's a net decrease. Because the point is to spend it all, because it's why we were given it. And then with the multi-year, the out 2 years have a ending reserve of 39% and 49%. All of these numbers will be reduced once we factor in the cost of the raises for the district. So that'll be something to look forward to for second interim. The final is shaking out and everything, where I have more than a week to put numbers together there. Lastly, our projected ending fund balances for all of our other funds other than the general fund, where everything up until now has been talking about general fund. State facility fund is this is all of our construction funds. So while yes, we have cash in there now, the whole point of all of that is that it's obligated for the preschool, for Tropico, and everything else has been about status quo in terms of not a huge difference in funds 11, 13, 21 or 25. So thus far this year, nothing dramatic has happened that has swung anything from the way things were with the budget the same way that the general fund did. So that is the end of my presentation.
Hey, Robert, one question. Did you say we were at 82%? 72 for labor? 72? Robert, you're the man.
That's good.
That was just a presentation. Now the next one is the motion. Okay, certified district's first interim report with positive certification. Mr. Urban,
He just needs to,
is certified?
Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, that would help me out tremendously.
All right, we'll go ahead and certify. I'll suspend the reading. All right, got a motion by Mr. Gutierrez, second? More, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing 5 ayes, passes. Approve E-rate year 26, 2023, 2024. Request for proposals, RFP number 2023-01 and 470, number 230007672. Mr. Wexler?
Yes, this is for the upcoming E-rate year. The RFP contains 24 switches, 14, most of those switches are for the middle school for the upcoming, for the 24 new class, 28 new classrooms at the middle school.
Yes, sir.
So it's 4 buildings of 7 buildings of 4. So each of the 7 buildings gets 2 switches. So that's 14 switches. And then we have some older switches that we're going to replace. So that's how we buy our switches every year, is through E-rate. So I recommend approving of the E-rate RFP. So the RFP gets submitted, we get bids, we'll select the winning bid, and we'll bring it back to the board for approval.
Thank you. Have a motion.
No, switches, those are,
Motion.
You stole mine last time.
I'll second it.
Okay, second by Hepburn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5 ayes, motion passes. Personal items, approval, admin, site coordinator, salary schedule, Mrs. Hargis?
So the job description of the Avid Site Coordinator was approved back in October, and we did not have a salary attached to it. So that is what is attached to it now. It would be a 4% on step 2, column 1 of the salary schedule. And so what we needed to do was we went back to RTA and said, hey, do you mind if we put this on the stipend schedule? They said it was fine. So
so we need to approve it so our
Step
Avid
2
tutor can actually get
You
paid.
get paid.
column 1, okay.
Okay,
Yeah, and
Motion.
that would be for a position at the 4 comprehensive sites, one at Brisbane Elementary, West Park, Tropical, and High School.
okay.
And these are 4 different people, or what group?
No, it would be 4 different people.
Motion, Martin,
Yep.
second by? Moore, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, hearing 5 ayes, motion passes. Approve the following personnel items. Hargis?
We just ask that you approve. We have some coaches on here. We have paraeducators. It's kind of a light one this time.
Yep.
Motion
Mo-
to approve.
Motion by Hepburn, second?
Motion. Second.
Second by Moore, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes, adjournment,
I make a motion.
yay.
Somebody does.
Who's seconding?
Aye. Me.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5 ayes.
All right. peace
We're out of here.
9:05.